Well, Captain Barnett, thank you so much for being back with us. Captain Pamela Barnett, she's retired U.S. Army. She's written the book Obama Never Vetted. Pam, man, there's so many things I'd love to ask you. Again, Lieutenant Mike Zullo was singing your praises, but let me ask you this. Talk to us about you've uncovered some information and investigated some information about another alias that's attached to Obama's name, Sobarka, and something about some passport issues. And this is stuff that just hasn't gotten out there, and you've got the scoop on it. Give it to us.
Yes, one of the exhibits in my book, it was a result of a Freedom of Information Act request to the State Department, and it was requesting passport records for Obama's mother. Also, her names were Stanley Ann Dunham Soetoro, and Stanley Ann Dunham Obama. So she had a lot of aliases herself.
Right.
But anyway, a passport record that they had provided to me from, and I didn't actually realize the significance of this until a few months ago. It's a passport renewal registration, and she had signed this, applied for this while she was in Jakarta, Indonesia, while Obama was still living there. And anyway, on July 18th, 1970, she signed a form to either include or exclude Barack Hussein Obama with in parentheses the name Sobarka.
How do you spell that? S-O-B-A-R-K-A? Sobarka?
K-A-H.
Okay, K-A-H.
Yes, and then on this document, that was in the section on the back side, and it's to include or exclude children. I think it might have been related to a name change, and it might have been when he was getting ready to come back to the United States. So I don't know if it was to include him or exclude his alias Sobarka while he was in Indonesia. That could have been another alias, as was Barry Soetoro while he was in Indonesia.
So what you're saying is...
Well, it was an alias. It's not a guess. It's on the document. His alias was Sobarka.
Yeah.
And on this document, there's hash marks going through those names. And another investigator and he had received the same documents. He's in New York, and his name is Chris Strunk. He received the same set of passport records. And we were sitting together in Indiana when we were going to appear as witnesses in one of the eligibility cases there. But I was denied the ability to testify there. But he was able to get some information in there. But long story there. But anyway, on this document, we're sitting there, and on the front of this document, we found that it actually says that if any of the people on this passport documents are no longer American citizens, to hash mark them out, to cross them out. And he was crossed out.
Good gracious. Okay.
So that means that Barack Obama was no longer a U.S. citizen according to his document.
According to his own mother, apparently, who filled it out.
According to his own mother, sworn on August 3rd, 1968, before a consulate officer in Jakarta.
So, in other words, Pam, we don't know who this guy is. And that's the title of your book, Obama Never Vetted, The Unlawful President. We don't know. I mean, it's like you said and I said and Lieutenant Zullo said today, if we were presented with 100% legally verified evidence that, look, he's a perfect citizen, et cetera, we're fine with that. But we don't have any of that. We don't know who he is, right? We don't know. Nobody does.
Well, yeah. Well, the other problem is, besides him, his fraudulent identities and criminality is the fact that he's just not constitutionally qualified. And, under the Minor versus Happersett ruling.
Absolutely. I've talked extensively about that. You're absolutely right. And then when he does post a birth certificate on the Internet, on the White House site, and holds it up in front of the world and swears it's his, an 8-month investigation with forensics labs and criminal investigators and digital document experts. They look at it and they all sign affidavits saying it's a forgery. It's not real. It's a fake. So what's up with that?
Exactly. It's our Congress is criminally complicit.
Yes, they are.
Yes, absolutely. Every one of them needs to be fired.
Well, January 6th rolled around, as I said, and they did not vet him, and they rubber stamped and approved the Electoral College. And you're right. I maintain, as you just said, that the entirety of Congress is now criminally culpable for violating the Constitution, and by their violation, they have now placed a man as commander-in-chief and given him the codes to the football. That's well, it's treasonous. That's a heck of a word to use, but it's criminally culpable and it's treasonous. I mean,
well, it's at the highest levels of our national defense, and
yes.
That's the White House, and it's the Congress.
Yes.
Their number one job is to defend our country.
Absolutely.
Against all enemies.
Absolutely.
How can we do that when we have when they're allowing an enemy to sit in the White House?
Yep. Do you know, Captain Barnett, we're out of time. I'm going to have you back if you would come back